Our trip to Grizzly Lake, a pristine lake within the Trinity Alps wilderness in Klamath National Forest in Northern California, took us in via the China Gulch Trailhead. Now this trailhead was just 2 hours from Weed, California, just west of Mount Shasta, and we'll get a peek at that mountain later in the video. The hike in was hot, and we spent a lot of time in the sun trying to get up to the meadow below the lake. We made a tough go of it, and it took us about 6 hours from the car trailhead to the meadow where we set up camp. That's fair to say that the first view of this meadow made my jaw drop. We just found it exceptionally beautiful sitting below Thompson Peak and Caesar to the left of Thompson, up at the top of the ridge. Now with 6 people in our group having 6 tents, we were a little concerned about the meadow being big enough to support us, but we didn't find any problem finding a campsite. In fact, there was another campsite that was even bigger than ours. Nearby, they could have held a few more tents. We came in on a Friday morning, and Saturday morning found us under heavy clouds and the threat of rain. We decided to use this day for our recon day to head up above the falls and see what the lake looked like. We knew taking backpacks up this steep cliff on the trail or not would be very difficult, so we opted to just use day packs. As we made our ascent, toward the end of the first hour we found ourselves nearly at the precipice of the lake where the waterfall comes out. Now my heavy breathing here should tell you that this was a haul, and it took a lot of effort to get up here within that hour. As we came over the final ridge though and got a view of the waterfall spewing out of the lake, it made every bit of the effort worth it. Now as the camera pans to the right here, you'll see Grizzly Creek begin as it outflows the lake, crashes down to the valley floor below, which is almost 1,000 feet lower and contains the meadow where we camped. The lake itself was superb, but the clouds meant no swimming today. We took a few photos and quickly moved down when the rain started. Although it made the footing conditions quite a bit more difficult, it was a real treat to descend the canyon in the rain instead of the beating sun.
But it wasn't tucked up.
From this vantage point, we can see Grizzly Falls becoming Grizzly Creek, teasing its way through the rubble field below as it becomes more of a defined stream. From this vantage point, we're sitting immediately south of the southernmost campsite within the meadow, arguably the one with the best view of all. We were so fortunate to have the diverse weather the week we were there. The clouds began the trip, and by the middle of the trip the sun came out and we were starting to get warm again. We took Sunday as a 0 day, and on Monday we found ourselves headed back up to the lake for
some pack.
None of our meeting was like.
On Monday, we decided to make the ascent up to the ridge between Thompson and Caesar Peaks in order to check out the glacier and see if we could tease a view to the south for the cradle of the Trinity Alps. Climbing was very steep, and at times it took our breath away. Thompson Peak, the saddle to Caesar Peak, the glacier, all resting high above Grizzly Lake, and a canyon containing our meadow below.
35.
After Shasta.
According to a 2021 article by Justin Garwood, where he wrote an excerpt from the Klamath Mountains, A Natural History, we know that Grizzly Glacier is in fact one of the lowest that we can find today. The glacier is nearly 1,700 feet below other California glaciers, which sits immediately below the summit of Mount Thompson. Thanks to the massive headwall above, the northeast aspect, and the fact that the snow comes in heavy off the Pacific Ocean, one can understand how this glacier maintains its presence even today. Buddies are down there. Got a good opportunity to get to them, so here we go.
Yeah!
The ample flora on the ridge side told us that water was always nearby, and we enjoyed cooling off in the small trickles when they were found.
Dog whipping here. No, this is.
With the quickly fading sun, we made our retreat back down to the meadow from Grizzly Lake. Our last day of pancakes provided a great start to the day as we broke camp and headed back down for the China Gulch trailhead. It's impossible to overstate the amount of awe and grandeur this small meadow provided us the week we spent in the Trinity Alps. This campsite is the northernmost of all of the campsites in the meadow, and it had just as stellar of a view as the rest of them. California Conservation Corps, perhaps numbering about 24 at the location where we were at, spent many weeks working on trail projects in the area, including this beautiful dam. Behind some great relaxation came the summit back up to China Gulch, which was a real butt kicker. To say the hike was dusty would be an understatement. That said, a place like Grizzly Lake only deserves to be seen after the right amount of effort and determination.